Hi everyone, my name is Lucy. Welcome to my channel. Thanks to all of my subscribers for being with me. And thank you for visiting me today. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe at the end of this video. It's completely free. For today's video, I'm making beef empanadas. These empanadas are baked instead of fried. So please join me in my kitchen to make these wonderful and delicious empanadas. For this recipe, we have two kinds of ingredients, the dough ingredients and the filling ingredients. And for the dough ingredients, I'm going to be using unbleached all-purpose flour. I'm using cold vodka, which you can substitute with water. I'm using additional water and additional all-purpose flour, sugar and salt, unsalted butter, and olive oil. And let's continue with the filling ingredients. I'm using 93% lean ground beef mixed with Italian sausage, one very large diced onion, one slice of sandwich bread cut in little squares, garlic, 2 hard-boiled eggs cut in small tiny pieces, and this is optional. I'm using cider vinegar, olive oil, salt, and you can use pepper as well, chicken broth, cumin, half of a green pepper, and I'm using a habanero pepper, and about 1 cup of chopped cilantro. Those are the main ingredients. You can add other ingredients as well. Let's start cooking. And we have to start making the dough ahead of time because we have to place it in the refrigerator for at least 45 minutes. So I'm putting about half of the all-purpose flour in the food processor mixed with the sugar and the salt. I'm mixing these ingredients well together, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the butter. And the butter should be chilled. We're going to mix it with a half of a portion of the flour. Once that's mixed, then we put the rest of the flour inside the food processor and mix it until it becomes kind of a wet sand-like texture. We put this mixture in a big bowl so we can add the liquids to the dry ingredients. I'm using very cold vodka in this recipe, but as I mentioned, you can use only water. So I'm mixing the vodka and the water with the dry ingredients. The water should be cold also. So make sure before you use them, you put them in the refrigerator for a while, for at least 20 minutes before you use them. I'm going to drop the spatula and I'm going to work with my hands until everything becomes in a cohesive ball. Once I have a nice soft ball, then I'm going to divide it in two, and each portion I'm going to divide in 6. So at the end, I'm going to have 12 empanadas. I'm making a little ball and place them back in the bowl. And once I have all of these balls, I'm going to cover and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 45 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to be making the filling for the empanadas. For the filling, the first thing I do, I'm mixing the slice of bread with about 2 tablespoons of the chicken broth and mix it well together in the blender. Once that is blended, then I add the beef and the Italian sausage. I'm using Italian sausage because I like the taste. You don't have to use Italian sausage if you don't want to. Or you can mix together ground pork with ground beef or ground veal or ground turkey. It doesn't matter. Add a little salt and pepper if you want, and we're done with the beef. Now I'm going to saute the onions. Once the onion is brown, then I add the garlic. When you can smell the garlic, then I add the pepper. And the pepper is optional. Mix for about a minute or two, and then we can add the ground beef, which is already mixed with the panade, which is the mixture of the bread and the chicken broth. Once the beef is brown, I add the vinegar and about 1/2 of a cup of chicken broth. Once that's dry, then I go ahead and add the cilantro and the eggs. And the eggs is optional as well. Turn off the stove, cover, and let it stand for 15 or 20 minutes or until you're ready to make the empanadas. There's no limit to what you can add to this empanadas filling. You can add olives, raisin, cayenne pepper, or cooked potatoes, whatever you want. So let's take one of the small little balls and stretch it into a small circle. Then we're going to stretch them with a rolling pin into a 6-inch circle, more or less. It doesn't have to be perfect. About 6 inches. Use plenty of flour so they don't stick to the working surface or the rolling pin. You can stack them together until you are ready to fill them. I'm going to use plenty of filling for each one of the empanadas. A hefty tablespoon full of filling. Then I'm going to fold them using water as a glue. Press them together and use a fork to seal them. By now, you should be preheating the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 205 degrees Celsius. Brush the outside with plenty of olive oil, and the pan should also have olive oil on it. I'm going to place them in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, and these are the results. They're yummy and delicious for lunch, snack, or even dinner. I hope you like this recipe and that you come back soon to see me again. I see you on my next video. Bye bye.